In a Fox News exclusive, the FBI concluding President Trump's would-be assassin Thomas Crooks acted alone. FBI leadership, including Deputy Director Dan Bongino, sitting down with Fox News Digital to discuss the investigation, saying, quote, "We have reviewed the case over and over, looked into every nugget. We have spoken to the families, the president. There is no cover-up here. There is no motive for it. There is no reason for it." Let's bring in Laura Trump, host of My View. So good to see you this morning, Laura. So should American citizens be satisfied with this investigation?
Well, listen, I feel like you understand, if you've watched this president, that he is all about transparency. And, you know, that's from the top down, and that's everything, including our food supply. We are Maha now. We're trying to expose everything. And I would say, Charlie, that it also includes this. I mean, no one more so than President Trump deserved an answer on what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. And he says he is satisfied. Obviously, I think we're very lucky that this president won in 2024 because we would have probably no information on this. It did feel like that Christopher Wray and Joe Biden and that entire White House and administration had no motivation to get to the bottom of this. But now we have a president in there who actually was impacted by this and wanted to ensure that we found out what happened. We do know that this individual, Thomas Crooks, as the FBI has said, worked alone, but he was radicalized in the same way that we tend to see happening more and more. That is online and on social media. So that may be a space where going forward, we're able to find more of these people before a terrible situation like this happens. My husband, my entire family, we've been very vocal about wanting answers. I do feel like that Dan Bongino and Kash Patel have dug deep and found everything they could possibly find and have tried to be as transparent as possible with the American people.
And that's such a great point, Laura, about, I mean, all of that is, but in particular, it's such a great point about the fact that I think that if President Trump had not won, there would be far less transparency on this and many other things. And so we should be grateful for that. I want to switch gears a little bit here and talk about that remarkable meeting yesterday between President Trump and Zohran Mamdani. President Trump just truthing out this statement. I predict that the economy, with the already highest stock market ever and prices coming sharply down from the Biden disaster, will soon be at the top of the list. And I want to play a quick clip from that meeting between Mamdani and President Trump.
We talked about some things in very strong common, like housing and getting housing built and food and prices. If I can get prices down, it's good for New York.
And when we spoke to those voters who voted for President Trump, we heard them speak about cost of living. We focus on that same cost of living, and that's where I am really looking forward to delivering for New Yorkers in partnership with the president.
What was your big takeaway from that meeting?
Well, listen, anyone who's paid close attention to President Trump knows that at the end of the day, he's never considered himself truly a politician, despite now having been president 2 times. He, at the core of who he is, Charlie, he's a businessman. He's been a negotiator his entire life. He can read a room. He understands people. And I think in this situation, he understood sometimes you catch more flies with honey than you do vinegar. This was their first meeting. And President Trump went into it with a very, I think, calculation that maybe he's going to do good for New York by making nice with Mamdani, at least on first meeting here. Now, that's not to say that in the future he's not going to be incredibly critical and tell him exactly what he thinks of things. Look, he's minced no words up to this point about who he thinks he is. Anytime somebody says he's a socialist, he goes, he's a communist. So we know where he stands here, but it's this kind of tactic that has allowed this president to end 8 conflicts around the world. It's the same kind of approach that allowed him to cross the DMZ to talk to Kim Jong-un of North Korea about possibly denuclearizing the Korean Peninsula. No one else would have done it. He's, very unconventional in his approaches, but hopefully this is going to be part of the reason that we see New York hopefully hang on until we get a Republican back in there. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, no kidding. We'll be waiting for that. So what else have you got coming up on My View tonight?
Well, we are also all paying very close attention, I think, to California. Speaking of socialists and communists, and we're talking with Chad Bianco. He's the sheriff who's actually leading the pack of candidates out there for that governor's race. He's on with us. Keith Kellogg is talking about this 28-point plan to possibly end the war between Russia and Ukraine. Charles Payne, of course, talking to us about all the things we need to know with this economy, affordability, Thanksgiving coming up. And I mean, maybe my favorite one, Paula Deen. I got to go to her house, Charlie, and cook in her kitchen. She went in her fridge to get me hot sauce. She is the best. I mean, we all know her. We all love her. She's got your Thanksgiving sides ready to go. And we had a great time shooting this piece. So I want everybody to tune in. 9 o'clock tonight. I'll see you there.
Paula Deen, just in time for Thanksgiving. Thank you so much, Laura. Great to see you.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.